President Emmanuel Macron called on Thursday for his country to address the question of reparations for slavery. His appeal came at a ceremony in Paris commemorating the 25th anniversary of the so-called Taubira law that recognizes the slave trade as a crime against humanity. In a speech on the legacy of slavery, Macron said that we must have the honesty to say we can never repair this crime, but that the question of how to repair must not be refused. Equally, he said it's a question on which we must not make false promises. France was responsible for about 11% of the transatlantic slave trade between the 16th and 19th century, shipping more than 1 million Africans to its colonies in the Americas. Macron also announced that 17th and 18th century decrees regulating the slave trade will be explicitly removed from French law.
Hello, my people. The French President Macron, as you see in that short video clip, I've called on his people, on French people, to address a way or to fashion a way so that they can pay for slavery reparation. You know what I mean? And I think, these people, you can't trust what they say. You know what I mean? These people, they will say something else and do something else. You know what I mean? These people, you can never trust anything they say, because look at somebody now telling Macron is now telling his people to think a way to pay this slavery. And I know why. I'm going to tell you why he is doing that, because he remember this last what Ghana people brought to the so about what they took to World court to UN for this slavery reparation, and all the Western country abstained. They didn't vote. They didn't say that slavery is the worst crime against humanity. But the other countries, even China, Russia, said yes, it is. And the people that perpetuated the slavery said no, and they know that slavery is the worst, crime in human history. You know what I mean? It's worst crime. It's a terrible stuff that shouldn't have happened. The way it happened. Treating somebody worse than you treat animal. That's how slavery, how they treated slaves. They treated them worse than animal. Look at how they treat animal now in the Western world. Look at the laws in the Western world about animal. The laws about animal today is better than any law for human being. When they are treating slaves like that, it protects animals more than human beings, slaves that even they use slaves to work. And Macron, the same Macron that instructed his people when the UN, when they passed this resolution to abstain from it, is now saying, oh no, we're gonna talk about how we're gonna pay for this slavery. We don't want to hear that you want to talk about it. We want to hear that you are starting to pay for the slavery reparation. That's what we want to hear. Not that let's talk about it. You can talk about it for 100 years. That's what they do. It's bureaucracy they use to delay justice. We're gonna set they start to we see what's the first. They will say, first of all, let us pass law, and you go this process of passing laws. They can take forever to pass that law, and after that, they will set a committee. All this bureaucracy that they know is not gonna go anywhere. And the reason why France is talking about this reparation is because now in Africa, they know they have problem in Africa, a very big problem in Africa. All this territory, all this country they were controlling, it's not in their hands anymore. It's not in their hands. It's gone. Like Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, it's gone. It's gone forever. It's not gonna go back to French hand anymore. So now they are trying to do a window dressing, they want Africa to see that these people, they are good. But let me tell you one truth, is that France is one of the worst colonial masters on this planet Earth. They are the worst. You know, even their own press. You know what I mean? The press in Paris or any part of France, they don't even like you can say like America or Britain. Their press might even try to hold their people responsible. Sometimes you can sometimes stumble on truth in the press. Sometimes, I'm not saying always, but in France, no, they go along with all these atrocities that people are committing in Africa in the name of controlling our resources. That's what they do. And now he's trying to say, oh, we are doing something about it. They're not gonna do anything about it. Because if you want to do something about it, we don't want you to talk about it. We want you to start doing it. That's when we know that you're serious. But we know they're not gonna do it, because they don't even have money. They're only doing it just for the corner Africa, thinking like, oh, these people have changed. They don't change, Peace.